Number 10. Number 10, there are two memory aids for that. One, if you know Roman numerals, Roman numeral for 10 is an X, like an ox. Ox is spelled O-X, and there's an X in ox. So remember, that's where the ox goes. Do not covet your neighbor's ox. Okay. But another one is a lot of gates have boards across them in the shape of an X, or doors. So think of an X on a gate. It's shaped like a rectangle with two diagonals. That's a gate. And coveting is the gateway to breaking all the other commandments. Normally, if you break one of the first 9 commandments, it starts out not explicitly breaking the commandment, but coveting something. Like number 1, you covet giving your all to God. Okay, you don't want to do that. You're jealous of God. Okay, and on and on. Gateway, as Christ said, if you commit adultery in your heart, if you commit adultery in your heart, if you lust after a woman, even if you don't physically commit adultery. So what we see is that number 10 makes adultery a sin, even if you don't physically commit adultery. Lusting after a woman in your heart is breaking the 10th commandment, which is the gateway to breaking the 7th commandment. Okay. Same thing with murder. Christ said if you have anger towards someone, unjust anger towards someone, that's like committing murder. Well, really, you're wishing they're dead in your heart, and that's breaking the 6th commandment, even if you don't physically commit murder. And so in the Sermon on the Mount, when he's explaining all of these things go beyond what you've been told. And people used to feel, well, even if I lust after a woman, as long as I don't physically commit adultery, I'm keeping the 7th commandment. And Christ said no, because you have to, in terms of the 10th commandment, it's not just what you do, but it's what's in your heart that counts. And you can break the commandments by in your heart, and that's the 10th commandment. And also when you're doing that, all of this follows from the Shema, or the Great Commandment. So if you go back to the Great Commandment, if you're loving God with your all, and you're saying, how can I fully love God? Then breaking, say, the 7th commandment, breaking a covenant you made with God when you got married, is not honoring God. So it's breaking the Shema. The 6th commandment, we're told even in Genesis 8, there's a prohibition against murder. And that's before the 10 commandments were given. So we know murdering is wrong even before the 10 commandments, even before we had the 6th commandment. And the justification for that is people are made in God's image. So if you're honoring God, then you will give worth to other people made in God's image, and you will not murder them. And murdering them, unjustly killing them, is disrespecting God. Okay. David said that when he sinned with Bathsheba. He said, He told the Lord, it's you and you alone that I have sinned against. His sin was against God because he had broken a commandment. He had broken not just physically the seventh commandment, but when he lusted in his heart, even before he broke the sixth and seventh commandments, he was breaking the 10th commandment, and that follows from the Shema. He was not honoring God. How would what David did with Bathsheba, how would that be honoring God with his all?